Welcome everyone to Healing Disclosures. And this is Kathy. I get to introduce myself on Nicole's channel. I love it.
Thank you for being with me.
Welcome to your channel, Nicole.
It's awesome.
We talked about doing a recording about a topic that's fairly new. And I said, I want to lay the groundwork because I think I may have been instrumental in the very, very beginning when we first put feelers out about this. And I don't know if all you guys feel like this. When you look back at a conversation or you look back at an event, sometimes it's kind of blurry. Like, did it really start like that? Or did you say this or did I? Anyway, so it might be a little bit, but whatever. I'm excited because how this began was when we were talking about the upcoming transfer of wealth, the changes in our financial situation and how things moving forward. Some people are involved with foreign currency. Some are involved with precious metals, with gold and silver. Others are planning on a digital wallet transfer of wealth. So there's different fingers going out from this financial pie, so to speak. And if I remember right, Nicole brought up a point and she said, this just doesn't seem really fair. What happens with people who don't know about any of this? Like in the United States or other countries, because this is all about a level playing field, right? And Nicole says, I'm gonna look into this because this doesn't feel like a level playing field if only some people are privy to the knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. With that in mind, I want Nicole to explain, because what she developed and what she delved into and what she found out really gave me great peace. And now especially, even though we think we know what's coming, we've got our pulse out there, we're taking our pulse. What she came up with is really, anyway, I want you to explain, Nicole. I blew my wad in the beginning.
Thank you for the setup. Yeah, this was many months ago, actually, for us. I think it was somewhere around September. And we were really trying to do all the things we could as a being to check, our checks and balances to make sure we had ourselves in alignment for wealth transfer. And we were tossing around the idea that, we've always heard that it's about your intention. And so taking into account that anyone has access to purchase foreign currency, anyone has access to open up a digital wallet, anyone has access to that. It made us say, well, what about the good intentioned people who are also light beings and have no idea that this stuff exists? And so I said, well, I'm going to give it to source, source, like, how do you know? How are you going to determine that, Joe Smith, when he goes to exchange his currency as a good intentioned soul and should have that level of wealth and power that comes with the wealth? Because we have all learned what wealth and power do in the ill-intended souls, right? And that's what we want to get away from.
Right.
And so I posed it to Source. Source is who you may call God, Source Creator, because it is based on intention. And I said, well, we have to quantify that. Like, there has to be something that going forward, you can say this person has good intentions and it qualifies them or it quantifies them as a good, steward, a good soul, good faith, whatever. And it equates to a value. Okay. Now was a completely new concept. I was literally just throwing ideas out there, talking to Source like I do, like many of us do now. in like a regular conversation. I put it up there. I didn't know what was going to come back.
Mhm.
Anyway, the next day it came back in the download that we speak about vibration and we speak about keeping our vibrations high. And the main things that make your vibration high are love and gratitude and being in service of others. And so Source says our vibrational currency unit, it's a VCU. It's a number, a dollar amount value that we earn based on our intentions, based on who we are as a being. So if Joe Smith has been skimming off the top of his employees' health and benefits for years, as long as he's had businesses, and he's not been the most up and up human being, and he's taken advantage of people and whatever, but he knows about this RV thing, and he's got all the ducks in a row. He's got all the Zim, he's got all the currency, he's got the wallet, he's got the everything. How would he not walk away with as much wealth or more, not being of good intention? Well, it's the VCU. The VCU for that soul is going to be nothing or very little. And how will we know? Well, there are going to be, and there are today, and there have been for decades, off-worlders who look just like you and I, but have telepathic ability to know who I am based on my energy signature, who you are based on your energy signature, and whether we're good people or not, without saying a word, without looking at an account, without running your credit score. This has nothing to do with that. Those are all matrix things. So you have to not think about this in a matrix way. This is a divine status, and it fluctuates. So if I suddenly decided to become a really shitty person and then start, I don't know, abusing people, my VCU would plummet because it's based on my intentions as a soul being. Okay. And so the way it was explained is all individuals have energy, and this is our energetic currency. It doesn't translate one-to-one with dollars or whatever, but it's basically assets. And if you think about it in terms of assets, and you think about the environment that we live in now, we have this thing called Executive Order 13848 that President Trump signed, seizes assets of people that have had performed crimes against humanity and have not been good intentioned people. And those things correlate. That correlates with this. So if you have your energetic signature is good karma and good intentions, you're going to have a higher VCU. And if your energetic signature is bad karma and bad intentions, you're going to have low VCU or 0. And people are going to want to know, how do they know their VCU? Well, you need to ask your higher self. That's how I know my VCU. Nobody tells me what my VCU is. It is a conversation that I have with Source, and I don't ask now. I don't really ask. I asked back then because I was very curious, and I've asked intermittently, and it does fluctuate. Mine has just gone up the trajectory, but again, my intentions are good. And I work very hard to stay in alignment with Source Creator and follow my path that he's given me. So vibrational currency unit, the abbreviation is V as in Victor, CU, VCU. And it is the Creator's way of giving our life intentions, our actions, what we've done with our life, a equated value. And so that's how we know whenever we go into as a being to do a wealth transfer, we're not all entitled to the wealth that we walk in there with if we're not good intention beings. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Totally. And it's not so far-fetched. I mean, listening to you explain, it's like we may not have known about this already, but we can sense this in people.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it. I
Yeah.
can feel it when I'm around somebody, and usually they're really like, we really connect. We're on the same page. You know, I can feel we're in sync. And some days are just off. Like you can feel, oh, we've had a day. Maybe you should go take a powder. Maybe we should just talk tomorrow. This is not a good day.
Yeah.
In the ethers, like this is not, you can feel that energy. You can
Yeah.
feel that thumbprint from someone else without having anything to do with the money. It's not
Yeah.
about the money.
No.
It's about the vibration, and to your point, the
Right.
intention behind what we're living, what we're doing.
Right. Some of the other information that came in at the time that I downloaded the information about the VCU is that no matter where you grew up or what country you grew up or if you were affiliated with any religion or whatever, basic premise is we get rewarded for being good people, right? You do good things, then you should get rewarded. Well, the controllers that we've been dealing with for the last several hundred years, they don't, that's not how they operate. You can be an incredibly wonderful person and have everything taken away from you because you don't play their game, you know, or you were born into the wrong family and you have been scraping by your entire life, but your intentions are incredibly good. And um, so Source wanted to make sure that I knew this was the way that the good get rewarded, justly rewarded for their faith and for their intention. And so I brought this up the other day with Kathy because she's been really diligent about staying up in the currency room and trying to help people that want to open lobster wallets and help them just kind of feel their way through so it's not this big scary monster that people just don't know where to get started. She's a really good advocate for helping people do that. But with all the bank financial crisis that's happening, we're over here with a level of understanding that we're cheering it on. We're not fearful. We
No.
expected this to happen. It was all part of what we felt like the trajectory of finances were going to take. You had to descend in order to ascend. And this is financial institutions as we know it have to crash in order for them to come back and be in the true form that benefits the greater good.
Right.
So you can't have any measure of the rotten fruit, going forward. It has to crumble. It has to be restructured. It has to be rebuilt. So it really has to be two different ways of looking at it and two different ways of thinking. And so, again, the controllers did a really good job of warping our brain to think that we had to have our money in certain banks and we had to have certain things in place and you had to jump through these hoops and you had to buy the stocks. You had to do these things or else you'd be destitute. And that's just not the case. So my point is, if you have nothing that we're talking about, if you don't have a digital wallet, you don't have foreign currency, and you have no clue what a VCU is, but you're a really good person, and you will be rewarded for your faith and good stewardship as a light being on this planet. And so when the time comes, you will be contacted one way or the other, and you will be given guidance that this is your measure, this is your VCU, this is your payout for being a good intentioned human being on this planet going forward to new earth.
Mm-hmm.
So people that are in the RV and that whole thing, they will get their RV payout, wealth transfer in different accounts with your trust and all the things. In a separate account is going to be your VCU. That separate account is going to be where your wealth transfer goes into. And it can be assets, it can be cars, it can be land, it can be businesses, it can be planes, anything that has value. So again, think about all the things that are getting seized, all the assets that are getting seized.
Can I ask
That,
something with that?
yeah,
If will people have to go to a redemption center, part of the RV thing, to receive that?
I have always been told, guided, that it's just going to be at the bank, that there are special personnel that has been trained, off-worlder, Pleiadian personnel too, that are going to oversee, and it'll be Bank of America, Wells Fargo, HSBC is what I've been told. Those are the banks that are going to be heading this up.
Right.
But redemption centers are not really, has never come through as a positive, accurate statement from source. I
Mhm.
personally plan on just going to the bank.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, to each their own on that, whatever guidance they feel discernment to follow.
Mhm.
But it's still going to be wherever you get your wealth transfer. If you are in the RV, you'll get your VCU at the same time. If you're not in the RV, revaluation, foreign currency, that whole thing, the VCU transfer of wealth could really come at any time.
Okay, so it
And
could, I don't know, because we don't know how Nasara Jasara is going to roll out either.
mhm,
We don't know. So there's some unknowns that we don't know, but just
yeah,
knowing that what the VCU is and what's coming, it's interesting. I'm gonna parallel this because on previous videos that I used to do, I talked about how our different accounts have a consciousness,
mhm,
right? So whether it's our digital wallet, whether it's our assets, whether it's our foreign currency,
right.
when people go to their RV, whatever they choose to believe, it's all going to be based on what you're talking about, on
Mhm,
our energy signature. They're going to know.
yeah,
That's why they're going to be able to feel. And if you're trying to pull something over, you're going to be escorted out. They're not going to allow, right? Remember, they talked about all
yep,
that.
yeah. And
Well,
it's not only, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I see it firsthand. It's like it's playing out in our digital wallets. I
Hmm.
can't see anything in the foreign currency because there's nothing to see really yet. Um, but in our wallets, it's like, oh my gosh. Because some of us have the same trust lines, we have the same assets. And it's not like the stock market.
Right,
It's not a level, like it's worth the value is worth
right,
this much. You
right.
can see the consciousness shifting
Hmm.
even among the same trust line.
Hmm.
It will show on my wallet completely a different amount than Nicole.
Yeah,
And someone else, it's like completely, there's no rhyme or reason. And it fluctuates often, but it's just fun because it parallels exactly what you're talking about.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I felt like I saw confirmation in my wallet with an asset that was gifted to me. I gifted some out, and after I gifted, that value shot up.
Mhm.
And it reminded me, like, yes, you're in service to others, you're working for the greater good, you're not being selfish, you're sharing your wealth, you will be rewarded. It was almost immediate, within a few hours. And so yeah, that's what, and I have true faith in the answers that I'm getting from source. And I really felt like, for them, they're like, yeah, we know who's good and who's bad. But I don't know if it was me, that if it wasn't already in place or whatever, if I was just basically putting that information out there so I could get the download. I don't know how it came about. I don't have that piece of it. I just know that this is what has come through, and it has been verified several
Mhm.
different times by people, speaking to their higher self. And so, yeah, you just talk about what is my VCU, and it's amazing. The number is amazing. And
Yeah.
then some people on the other side of the coin, some people where you may be thinking their number would be really, really high, but
Mhm.
you don't really know what someone's intentions are,
Mhm.
unless you're really tuned in, unless you have that ability to know their soul, to know their heart. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, that number might surprise you too.
It's interesting because I've had some people reach out to me because of our connection with the currency room and different past life
Yeah,
involvement, right?
yeah,
And we're still straddling the 3D world, the matrix with what we're right on the cusp. It's right here. So we're balancing between those two. And so what I did in the past with creating trust, in order to keep security, it puts a measure of, because everything so far currently will be public record, right? Supposedly that's going to go away. Allegedly, the IRS is going to be gone and we won't have to worry about taxes. That's still allegedly. They're still in some manner in existence, right? And that's not in my wheelhouse, but doing trust puts a veil, it puts a layer of separation between you as a person and you as a trustee of a trust. The rules are different.
Right.
All of a sudden, if you get unbelievable wealth, which every single thing that we've talked about, the digital wallet, the foreign currency, all of that will bring unbelievable wealth. It puts us in a different category if we have a trust.
Right.
Otherwise, if you don't have a revocable trust, and I'm saying this for the benefit of people that have no clue what's going on, it takes us out of the realm of a lottery winner.
Right.
As it is right now, if you, and I don't remember the amount, but it's low, really low. If you win a certain amount of money, you will be put out like a commercial, like broadcast to the world. Here's our latest winners. Here's our, right? You don't want that attention. You don't want that. Anyway, for that reason, if no other, having a trust will safeguard you from public awareness like that. Okay. So just that reason alone, a revocable trust is really good. Anyway, that's why we did that. And same with the wallets. Right. With our digital wallets, having the name of our trust as the recipient, as the trustee of the wallet. Right. Again, it keeps that security for us. Anyway, as long as it still is needed and it applies, that's a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. So I hope that's it. I mean, it's that's it in a nutshell. If you want to know what your VCU is, you have to go inside yourself and get in touch with your higher self. And if you need help with that, reach out to us in my Telegram group or Kathy and her Telegram group. Those links will be at the bottom of this video.
Awesome.
And
thank you for doing this. This was good.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.